Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This will be the first of hopefully many videos in which I will be attempting various songwriting challenges. Why should that matter? Who am I? Why be songwriting? For the last 20 years, I have worked as a musical theater composer and lyricist, pop singer-songwriter. Basically, if it has words and music, I write it. You know how you have that moment at one point where you go, it's just not hard enough creating something from nothing. Let's make it harder. Yeah, no, I haven't either. It's always hard. But I'm gonna make it harder anyway. So that's my channel. Bored songwriter tortures himself by attempting the most annoyingly difficult songwriting challenges he can think of. So, the challenge for this video, I will be attempting a 1-hour musical theater composition challenge. And I am already lying to you, because almost nothing I said in that sentence was true. I said I will be attempting. That's line number 1. This is the squeakiest chair in the world. I had recorded an intro for this challenge before I got started, but the video quality was so bad. It was so bad. So I scrapped it and I am re-recording this now. So I'm done. I did it. Spoilers. Also, I said it's a 1-hour challenge, and that's my second lie. It's actually a 2-hour challenge. But here's my justification. If I were a songwriting team, each part of me would get an hour to work on their respective parts of the song. So I've given myself 1 hour to work on the lyrics and 1 hour to work on the music. So it's a 2-hour, 1-hour challenge. You get it, right? Okay, on to the song. So step 1, I needed some suggestions, a jumping off point. It is so difficult to create something from an entirely blank canvas. I would have been getting the idea for the song when the alarm went off. So before I got started, I asked my wife to give me a few suggestions. Again, scrapped footage. Here's a reenactment. Hey Bob!
Yes.
Name a musical that doesn't exist.
Base Camp.
Base Camp the musical.
The musical.
Awesome. Name a musical theater composer who does exist or has existed.
Alan Menken.
Thank you. So here is the challenge. I will be writing a song for Base Camp the musical in the style of Alan Menken. For those who don't know Alan Menken by name, you certainly know him by his work. He is pretty much responsible for the golden age of Disney films. He did the music for Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and the list goes on and on and on. Now, Menken is a composer, but he's not a lyricist. So for the lyrics, I chose one of his regular collaborators, Howard Ashman. For those who don't know Ashman by name, you certainly know him by his work. He is pretty much responsible for the golden age of Disney films. So this will be a song written for Base Camp the Musical by Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, but really by me. If you're interested in seeing the process of how I brought the song together, please continue watching. That is the brunt of this video. However, if you would like to just see the finished product and you're like, I don't care about your process, who do you think you are? You can jump to this time right here and see just the finished song. Step 2, lyrics. So right off the bat, I heard Base Camp the musical. I started thinking mountain climbing and this idea of you got to go up. It's only up from here. That was the very first lyric I wrote for the song. It also happened to be the tag. It's the recurring theme of the song. I like the parallel that it's literally a mountain climb is going to only go upward. But also, if this is a character who's had to leave a low point in his life to get here, he now only has up to go. So what you're watching now is the screen share sped up heavily of my hour writing these lyrics into pages. I also have about an hour of footage of me pacing back and forth in the office trying to write this. Most of it looks like this. So I'm not going to include a whole heck of a lot of that, but sure, for comedic value, why not? Some of the things from Ashman's lyrics that I was trying to capture, he really liked using lists. You notice a lot in I Can Show You the World, shining, shimmering, splendid, listing these things off. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun. Oh, there you see me trying to come up with a bunch of rhymes for atmosphere. I think this was probably a factor that he was writing for mostly Disney characters, but his lyrics tended to have a childlike nature to them. They weren't super complicated. Using things like, "Look at this stuff, isn't it neat?" That's something that a kid would say. And man, he was so elegant about it. That's something that I could not capture in this challenge. His lyrics tended to be really adjective heavy too. He was always trying to make things more tactile. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious. And again, I come back to shining, shimmering, splendid. 3 adjectives listed in a row. So in this section I just finished, I was trying to pay heed to that. I wanted to get a bunch of descriptives about being up on a mountain, the crispness of it, the crunchiness of the snow, the freshness of the air. Unfortunately, by the time I got the song done, most of that got cut, and all that remained was the freshness of the air. And I kept playing with this idea of a clean slate. I like the wordplay of slate as in rock, but also cleaning your slate as in having a fresh start. But to make it an Ashman adjective, I wanted to word it as the slate is clean. And then here's me getting in my own way.
My face, 'cause I'm gonna scale. I hate that. I hate scaling. 'Cause I'm gonna scale it. Scale.
I think one of Ashman's other go-tos was internal rhyming. If you look at A Whole New World, just the very beginning, we've got shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? So we've got that internal rhyme of splendid and winded. Take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under on a magic carpet ride. So the long rhyme here is decide to ride, but in between those, we've got the splendid, winded rhyme and the wonder under rhyme. And then there's also this. I think this is clever. Let your heart decide, magic carpet ride. It's not a pure rhyme, but it's a pretty clever slant, and it still carries that feeling of internal rhyming happening before the actual end rhyme. So I was really trying to infuse this chorus with internal rhymes, and what I ended up doing actually was rhyming a lot of my end syllables with internal syllables. So you see ascending pair up with never-ending climb, and then climb pairs up with 'cause I'm gonna make it. Admittedly not the cleanest example of internal rhyming, but I was on a time limit. I would say the last thing that I was trying to capture from the Ashman style, his choruses tend to be bookended. A whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew, but when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you. We start and end with the whole new world idea. That one I actually managed to capture here with this. I begin and end the chorus with it's only up from here. So you get that bookending. Okay, at this point, I feel like I've talked about the lyric enough. I'm going to just speed run through the rest of this. You'll notice here I'm on rhymezone.com. I was clearly stuck on the word clean and needed a rhyme that I could actually utilize. Rhymezone.com is the lyricist's best friend. If you ever meet a lyricist who says, oh yeah, I don't need a rhyming dictionary to help me come up with stuff, they are lying to you. We all get stuck. We all need a little help sometimes. Rhyming dictionaries are excellent for that. My goal was to get through a verse, a chorus, and a bridge, and I did that, and then I had some time left over, so I jotted down a second chorus. And this is it. This is the finished lyric for It's Only Up From Here. And with that done, on to the music. When I was writing the lyrics for this, I kept singing it in the key of A flat, which seems to be the key that works best for my voice. So I'm going to keep it in A flat as I write this. Starting sus chord. You'll notice I already have the melody written in here. Because I do both music and lyrics, usually when I'm writing lyrics, the melody comes to me along with the lyrics. So to save myself time, it would have taken me like half an hour just to write the melody in. I saved that time, I put the melody in before I started, quote, writing the music. I kept hearing sort of a mixture between Beauty and the Beast and Newsies when I was working on this. I wanted to capture the essence of those two scores. Off the bat, I knew I wanted to be working with a fair amount of sus chords. This opening is actually pretty much Beauty and the Beast without that little da-da-da-da-da-da riff.
against a monolith. A chance to start again, to overcome. Yeah.
My aim for the first half hour of the work was to just go through and get all of the chords written in. I didn't care about getting rhythmic stuff or any embellishment. I just wanted to get a foundation that I could work on later. So the first half hour of this is pretty much that. I also couldn't have asked for a better composer to start this challenge on. Menken's material doesn't deviate too far from sort of standard music theory practices. He pretty much sticks to a 6-chord song. They tend to be open and flowy and pretty and don't involve a lot of complication. So it's pretty easy to emulate a Menken style quickly.
I'm not scared. It's small compared.
Obviously here I was struggling to come up with a chord.
Scared, it's small compared.
As you can probably tell from watching this, I'm not an improviser. Most improvisers can sort of sense what the next cool possible chord is and play it immediately. A lot of composers have to consider all of their moves. It's almost like playing chess as a composer. You are trying to not only think of what the next cool chord is, but you're trying to get to a chord 4 chords away, and you're attempting to set that up while still letting the music feel like it's flowing. Now this is going into the chorus, so I wanted to start to give it a feeling of it's building, it's exploding into the chorus. It's got to have this fire and power coming out of the verse. There's a very standard Menken thing to do, the running left hand. Had I had more time, I actually would have done more of that in this song, but I ran out of time to add those embellishments. That is one of the most recognizable Menken traits of a song, is that left hand is just flowing along at all times. So this was the one sort of cool out-of-key element. You usually hear 1 or 2 of those in every Alan Menken song. Just one place where he diverts from key just to keep your ear fresh. This dotted quarter note thing that I'm doing here, not so much a Menken thing. That's actually almost more a Flaherty and Aarons or a Jason Robert Brown thing. Those are 2 influences of mine, so I just naturally kind of fall into that structure sometimes. It seemed to fit the melody line, so I let it slide, but it's not really Menken.
What is that chord?
I think it was while I was working on the chorus, I sort of realized that what I had started as trying to emulate a Beauty and the Beast sound turned into emulating more of a Hercules sound. And I'm okay with that. The idea of someone climbing a mountain feels more on par with the Hercules story than the Beauty and the Beast story.
It's very Jason Robert Brown, actually.
This is the one part of the song where I feel like I was consciously attempting to create an uphill climb in the music, which I probably should have been doing the whole time, but I was a little too worried about just getting finished. In a song like It's Only Up From Here, I would expect that the music sort of keeps pushing on an upward trajectory. Most of this song doesn't do that, but this one little section, it does. And actually the melody here, I specifically... It's only up from here. Naturally, it sort of wants to resolve, but because the line is literally, it's only up from here, I couldn't have it, it's only up from here, because that would be down from there. So it had to go up and stay up. Going into this bridge was probably the easiest part for me to write, because the standard songwriting rules are, if you've been writing in a major key and you're going into a bridge, start using minors. Use minor chords instead of major chords, and you've got yourself a bridge. And vice versa. If you've been writing in a minor key, use some major chords in the bridge and bring some brightness to it. So right off the bat, this bridge, starting with an F minor, that was the easiest decision of this song. I'm pretty sure I was panicking by this point because I just wrote 2 bars of 2/4 into a 4/4 composition. I could have just left it in 4/4. I was starting to panic a little bit at this point. I was underneath the half-hour mark here and I was supposed to be done with the basic chords at this point so that I could go back and embellish. So trying to get through this ending, I was just, get it done, come on. But I really wanted this to have that, again, the sort of Hercules, big brassy finish. And so I was frantically trying to get that written while also keeping in mind that I had to move on.
Up from here, it's gotta go here.
I don't know that this is necessarily an Alan Menken finish, to be honest. It's more a me thing. I love dissonance in my compositions, and I really wanted, for myself at least, to get this dissonant crunch that then releases into the pretty ending. It's a Jason Robert Brown thing. It's an Adam Gettle thing. I don't know that it's really an Alan Menken thing. So that's basically it. That's the composition. And I could ultimately have stopped there. It would have been a finished piece, but I still had about 25 minutes. And so I went back and I added some embellishments. I tried to make it a little more, I mean, this is not Menken. This is just a chord progression at this point. So I went back to try to give it a little bit of Menken feel.
We're gonna do something like that.
And with that little riff, now we have a motif of sorts. I call it the looking up motif. If I were writing the whole show, that's the riff that you would hear anytime he's sort of looking up the mountain. This part I was actually surprised. This went a lot faster once I had the foundation to build on. The rest of it kind of flowed along pretty well. And this part, like most of this embellishment, it's just me going back through and adding little flourishes. I'm not really trying to change anything about the composition now. It's just putting little things in to change the rhythm so your ear doesn't just get stuck on this dun, 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 dun quarter note thing that's going on. So every couple of measures I drop in some 8th notes or some 16th notes just to distract your ear from the fact that you're only really hearing quarter notes. The thing that I was trying to capture is the flowiness. Alan Menken songs are known for being flowy. I mean, think about Part of Your World or pretty much the entire score to Pocahontas, the score to Hunchback of Notre Dame. They're all beautiful, but also mostly they're beautiful because they flow so nicely. They're just so comfortable for the ear to listen to. I gotta say, I was much happier with the music side of this than the lyric side. The lyrics, I don't feel capture Ashman, but this music really did capture a sense of Menken. And there it was. That was my hour. So at this point, the composition is done. But I wanted the finished product to really feel like a Menken score. So I shipped it off to my orchestrator, me. I will say I spent a few hours on this part of the project, but I'm not including that in the composition time. The point of orchestration isn't to change the composition, it's to add instruments and fullness to the finished product. I lied to you again. I did add a piano riff at the end. This is just between you and me. Don't tell the rest of you two. My one change to the composition, when I got to the end of the orchestration phase, the end of the song just didn't feel like a finale. It didn't feel done. So I added a little piano riff to give it the feeling of we're coming to a conclusion here. Oops. Song's done. It's done. It's ready to be performed. Quick costume change because I feel like a t-shirt is not really appropriate to the mountain climbing motif. There, that's better. Because you could absolutely climb a mountain in a thin jacket like this. Dial up your suspension of disbelief all the way, and let's go. A man against a monolith. A chance to start again, to overcome. I stand facing down Goliath, but I'm not scared. It's small compared to what I haven't done. It's only up from here on a narrow row, descending to the atmosphere. I refuse to fear the never-ending climb I face, 'cause I'm gonna make it, starting now, I swear. It's only up from here. I hesitate between each variance and question. It's brought me down more times than I can count. But now the slate is clean. The air up here is fresher. The pressure's off at last, so starting now, there's only one way to go as I leave the world below behind. It's only up from here, from a failed past behind me to a sky so clear I can clear my mind and finally start to rise above. One step, then another, forget last year, and persevere. It's only up from here. So there it is. It's only up from here from Basecamp the Musical. I hope you guys enjoyed this songwriting challenge. I wouldn't personally recommend using this song for an audition, but if for some reason you would like the sheet music in your collection, I am including a link in the description below. You can click on that and get the sheet music free of charge. However, if you'd like to repay me, like this video and click the subscribe button. I also just released a brand new album and I would love for you to go give that a listen. It's available on just about any streaming service that you can think of. Just search my name, Matthew Capurro, and the album is called Sold Out. I will be back in about a month with a Beethoven challenge. You'll have to tune in then to find out what I mean by that. Until then, thank you for watching. Take care. I almost forgot. Please comment below with the name of a musical that doesn't exist and the name of a musical theater composer that does or has existed, and you might see your suggestion used in a future video. Once again, thanks for watching. Take care.